big news is Canada's own Drake. Drake is just the fourth artist to have an album that has led the Billboard Top 200 album chart for at least 10 weeks and also have a Hot 100 single from that album to be on the number one position for at least 10 weeks. So 10 weeks number one album, 10 weeks number one singles. Of course, the album is Views, and he only joins three other artists in music history since the charts began to actually hit that kind of Drake, of course, with the album Views, and the song is One Dance. Adele's 25 hit 10 weeks at number one, beginning on December the 12th, 2015. And also the song Hello hit number one for 10 weeks at least from November the 14th of that year as well. Santana, Carlos Santana, his album Supernatural hit number one for 12 weeks, starting in October the 30th, 1999, and then the single Smooth hit 12 weeks at number one, and also Maria Maria hit number one for 10 weeks. And lastly, Whitney Houston. She was the first artist to hit number one on the Billboard Top 200 album chart for at least 10 weeks and have a single from that album for 10 weeks when the Bodyguard soundtrack hit number one for 20 weeks back in 1992, and the song I Will Always Love You, of course, written by Dolly Parton, that was back in 1992 as well. So, four acts: Drake, Adele, Santana, and Whitney Houston. 10 weeks at number one on the album chart and having a 10-week single. And this goes back all the way back to the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. Interesting to note, two of those four albums happened in the last 12 months. But why was that? It was essentially because Billboard changed the way that the charts are consumed now. So before, in the past, they used to only have the sales, meaning when you actually put out money and you bought the single, whether it was iTunes or whether it was a hard single or a 45. Now every single combination of a consumption is reached. So every time you listen to the track on Spotify, every time that you stream it online, every time you watch the video up on YouTube, it actually counts towards the sales of it. It's a little bit minuscule. 1,500 streams equals one sale. So a lot of you are watching Drake right now, and that's why Adele and Drake has been able to achieve this. Not just because they're amazing and they're great, because they are, but just the way that the sorry, just the way that the charts are now calculated, it basically means that it might be a little bit easier to hit the charts. But nonetheless, it's still an important feat that everybody in music should be celebrating, especially here at home in Canada.